Hey guys, so I want to talk about two things in this video. So number one is wireframes, and then from wireframes, I want to talk about what a storyboard is and how you can use storyboards to convey requirements as a business analyst. So wireframes are a basic technique that I think anyone that's working within the product space should know. So whether you want to be a product manager, a product owner, or anyone within a development team, I think wireframing is a valuable skill to have. And especially as a business analyst, you should be able to draw wireframes and use wireframes to clarify requirements, communicate your vision, and that sort of thing. So, first thing, let's talk about what is a wireframe. So, a wireframe is just a simple representation of your requirements or a simple representation of what the solution is going to look like so that you can get people to provide feedback and gain more clarity on what you're thinking. So a wireframe could be as simple as taking a piece of paper and sketching something on a piece of paper, right? So if you're building an application and if you just draw something like this on a piece of paper, that is a wireframe. So that's representing a mobile screen with a few buttons at the bottom, right, and a video at the middle. So that is a wireframe in essence. So you could use a lot of digital tools to be able to produce wireframes. And if you're working as a business analyst, you would most certainly create wireframes as part of your job. So I'm going to share my screen and run through a couple of examples. I'm going to show a tool that I used to create wireframes. You could check them out. Or you could check them out as well. Just want to say that this video is not sponsored by this particular company. This is a tool that I actually use in my current workplace. So where I'm currently working. So this is a tool that you might find useful. Other companies might use other tools like Miro or Mural or Figma, for instance. But so they are just different types of tools. This I think is a very basic tool that you can easily pick up and easily learn to be able to become good in the art of wireframing. So I'm going to share my screen and let's look at what wireframing looks like. Okay, so this is the tool that I'm talking about here, which is called Balsamiq, and you can just go and access them through your browser. So this is a not a free tool. So this has a price if you want to use this tool, but then you get a 30-day free trial which you can use. They don't really ask for credit cards, so you can easily register for a free account, and in 30 days I think you can pretty much learn how to do wireframe. So this is the tool that I want to talk about today. And so first thing is, like I said, the clear aim for wireframes is to clarify and improve vague ideas, right? So when you're starting a project, everything is really vague and ideas are not clear. And one of the best ways to get clarity on your requirements is through wireframes. So when you actually create something like this and you put it in front of your stakeholders, they will be exactly able to see what you're thinking and they can provide valuable feedback, so that you end up building what the customer wants, and so you don't build something that's going to be that you have to do rework for. So it's really important that you get your requirements clarified. So you can use wireframes to clarify your ideas at the start of the project, and then you can pretty much use wireframes to test various concepts, and then you can keep refining them, right? So you can improve your wireframes because wireframes are really easy to create. You can change them as quick as within a few minutes, and create a different design, and you put the different design in front of your stakeholders or your users. You get feedback, and then you can just quickly iterate on what the product should look like, because then that lets you create a product that your customers want, and you don't end up building something that you just imagine in your mind, but then when the customer looks at it, they're going to be like, this is not what I asked for. So it's really important to clarify those requirements at the beginning. So you can use wireframes to collaborate with and iterate with your team, and essentially to communicate your vision, right? So this is what wireframes are for. I'm gonna just show you guys what I've done using this particular tool. So let me share my screen again. As you can see, so my trial period for this particular application has expired, and I've been meaning to do this video for a month now, and time is just gone. So I'm now over the 30-day trial period, but I can still access some of the stuff that I did. So I'm just still going to continue showing you guys how this tool looks like and what you can do with this tool. But also I'm going to show you guys another tool to explain the concept of storyboarding. So over here, as you can see, I've got this wireframe here where I've tried to show you guys what a wireframe could look like for a mobile application. So all these components here are just inbuilt components. You just drag and drop on your screen. I've got another example here which I think is a bit more interesting. So I tried to wireframe the YouTube homepage. So when you go to you land on the YouTube homepage, you would basically see a bunch of videos, and there's a few buttons at the to the left hand side panel, and then there's a hamburger icon, there's a home button, and there's a search bar at the top. Now all these are just components within Balsamiq. You just drag and drop to create the screen. And I've got this on the right hand side. I've got this screen where if you click on a particular video on YouTube, it then opens up that video on a player. You've got the play button, the volume button, and the expand button as well. All right, so that's just, once again, this was available within Balsamiq, so it was just easy to just drag and drop. I didn't have to manually create this player here. And so I've got something a bit more, I guess, interesting over here. What I did here is that I pretty much just took one of my thumbnails from my previous videos. I pasted that thumbnail in here, and then I just right click and then convert that image into a sketch, so it looks like a sketch. So yeah, once again, this is just YouTube, where I'm just showing what it looks like when you play a video. You've got all these different buttons at the top. You've got this notification icon, create video button here. You've got the profile picture here. So yeah, all these little details they're all available as icons within Balsamiq. So it's just really easy to create something like this within minutes. So yeah, so I think wireframes are really powerful in terms of just sharing your ideas with your team, and also especially as a business analyst, when you're getting requirements and when you're trying to talk to your stakeholders to say that, okay, this is what my understanding of your requirements are, and then let them comment on the wireframe. So that gives them 100% clarity on, okay, you're going to be building the right thing. Okay guys, so the next thing that I want to talk to you about is a technique called storyboarding or storyboards. So storyboards are a technique that has come from the world of animation. So in those days when they did animation, every single frame was drawn on a piece of paper. So every action that the character is making would be specifically drawn out, and then when you play all your frames together, you basically get the movement, right? So that's how they created animations. So they used to call them as storyboards, and even today, when people are directing movies, people actually do storyboards. So storyboard, where they represent each scene in a movie, is created as a storyboard. So within the storyboard, it's sort of visually representing what happens within that particular scene, right? So in the world of IT, you can do storyboarding. And especially storyboards are written, or storyboards are done by business analysts to explain requirements to the development team, right? So you can do storyboards storyboards are just another way of representing business requirements, and it really is a clear way of representing what the solution is going to look like. And also the development team can easily understand what they're building, right? So I'm going to use a tool here to explain what storyboarding looks like. So let's just get into that straight away. Okay guys, so the tool that I'm using here today is called Whimsical. Once again, this is in no way sponsored by Whimsical. I think this is a really cool tool. So I just, I've been using this for a while now, and I want to kind of just use this to demonstrate the concept of storyboarding. So this is a much more modern tool. They've got some AI features built into it. Okay guys, so I've got this example here where I'm going to demonstrate what a storyboard could look like, where you've already got an application and you want to make changes to that application. So for example, in this instance, I've got this landing page from a website of Telstra.com. So Telstra is a company that provides mobile phone services to its customers. So I've just taken a screenshot from the website and I've copied that into this particular tool. Now, if I want to if let's just assume that this is not currently available, and you're kind of creating this storyboard so that your team can build this website, what you do is you would basically model this as a wireframe, and then what you can do is you can then use sticky notes to write what each element within this page needs to do. So for example, I'm going to write one here that basically says, all right, so I might say clicking here should navigate the user to the payment page, right? So I've written a note that is going to represent what's going to happen when a user clicks on this particular button. So that's now really clear that for your team to understand that, okay, this particular button here is going to navigate the user to the next page or the payment page. And then similarly, I can just do the same for all the other buttons here. So I could say clicking here should navigate the user to the home page. Now I've written this for the home icon here, so I can just point that to this icon here, and just going to make it a straight line connector. If I want to kind of I can even do like a circle around this, where I'm gonna say, okay, so this, I'm just gonna make this transparent, and then I want some color for the outline. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, yeah. So I've got this. Okay, so I'm just saying that this clicking on this particular icon here should navigate the user to the home page, right? So you would basically do this for all the elements within that page, and if it's too much to cover in one page, you can just split it across two pages, and this is just a way of like demonstrating what the solution is going to look like, and also it's just a way to get requirements really clarified, and it also is really great for you to think through what's going to happen when you click on a button, and you might miss a lot of requirements if you don't do this. So this really helps you with that as well. Now typically in a storyboard you will have a lot more details other than just talking about what's going to happen with each button, but also you could have a table, and within the table you could talk about each field within that screen, and you could give details of that field. So for example, if there's a text box, you could say this is the maximum number of characters that should be allowed for this text box, and if there's a checkbox or a radio button, you could say if this should be read-only or editable. So you could provide a lot of business rules around a particular page that you're building. So once you've kind of done all that, the other thing that you is really key when you're doing a storyboard is that for example, let's just say that you want to demonstrate this, clicking on this button takes you to the next page. Okay, I can put a arrow pointing from this button to the next page, and on the next page I can then just modify this page. I'll just make everything blank, and then I could pretty much just create anything that I want here. So now it looks like a blank page, and on here I could design what the payment page is going to look like. So I could pretty much create lots of different text boxes. I'm just going to slightly give it a darker shade. All right, so you can have a text box here, have some label here, payment options. All right, so I just say put that next to that, and then just make that bigger, right? So and then if I want to make that like a drop down, I think I can find that here. Okay, I might just get an arrow. Let's just say I pick that as an arrow, and then I can just rotate it, right? And then if I just drop that here, that looks like a drop down now, and I can change the color, I'm pretty sure. All right, so that looks better, right? So just like this, I can just create, what I'm sort of thinking through in my head, and this, obviously this is not very pretty, but if you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. So you could just create like buttons as well. So if I just, maybe, I guess I might just use that, right? So let's just say this is pay as a button, and I could have different shades, increase the text size, and I'm pretty sure I should be able to do other stuff like adding a shadow and all that, which I just can't seem to find all that now. But anyway, so that looks like a button now. So so then you would then just create similar annotations on this page. So when I say annotations, I mean like these sort of notes next to each function next to each button within that page, so that this way you're kind of telling a story now to your development team, saying that this is what should happen when a user clicks on that button. So this is what they will use to then go and program the system. So and you would use this as a business analyst to verify requirements with the business, and get sign off before your development team starts building the product. So yeah, so I think storyboarding is really powerful technique, and once you have the right tools, this doesn't take much time. You would be able to do this pretty quickly. So it doesn't have to look real, so you're just doing a rough sketch of what the product is going to look like. But then in this particular instance, because I've taken a screenshot from a particular website that was already there, that's also a different use case, right? So sometimes when you're working in a company or when you're working in a project, you are doing improvements to an existing software, which means that you would basically take an existing system and you're making modifications to it, in which case you need to be even more careful, because you're changing an existing system. So you want to be really clear when in terms of what the change is going to look like. So let's just go through an example of that over here as well. So for example, if I have the same web page here, right? So now just gonna bring this one out here, right? Okay, so I've got this this is kind of by default, these are the 5 or 6 buttons that appear on this page. Now let's just say the requirement is to now remove one of these buttons and bring in a different option, and they want to, let's just say for example, the requirement says that you want a new AI assistant to appear at the top. So then you could create something like this, and then basically put it on top of an existing button, and you might say that needs to be the first button, or it could be the last one, right? So either way, you can create something like this, and now you can then that looks pretty real to me. So this is where you could then annotate this as well, to say that, okay, you can say clicking this button opens the AI chat window, right? So then you could just represent that here. So I'm just going to put an arrow from here to here, right? So then what you could do is you could create another page from here, which would just be a copy of that, and I could then say I could then try and create a chat window, right? So if I just create a chat window here at the bottom, that appears something like this, and let's say there's going to be like a bubble. Let's try and do something different here. So I'm going to have a rectangle here that represents the AI chat. So this is going to have a different color here, right? And then within this you could have like every conversation appears as a bubble, and so for example, this is what it looks like when the AI chatbot is sending you a message, and then every time the user responds, that's going to look in a different color, right? And then the next thing could be the chatbot responding to the users. So you could pretty much represent how you want the chatbot to look like. So then this is what, this is how kind of you're chatting, and this just represents just the AI chatbot, right? So you can add an icon instead of just a just a shape. So I could just go here and and just say human. If I just type in human, and I get like different icons. Let me just, I'll just type in robo, and okay, I'm going to use this. Oh, actually no, might use this as my chatbot, right? So this could be your icon for the chatbot, and then you can also add a like a cross to represent the close button for this chat window. So I'm going to add this close here. So this now sort of looks like a AI chat window where the customer is chatting to a AI chatbot, and you've got a close button, right? So then you can add a lot more notes around what should happen when user clicks on the cross, what should happen when the user wants to edit an existing message. If you want to edit a message, then you might actually have 3 dots appearing at the top here, and can the user right click on this button. So you can add all those rules within the storyboard itself. So yeah, storyboard can become really powerful if you use it correctly, and also try and not be too detailed in your storyboard as well. So you don't want to try and spend too much time trying to create the storyboard, but you want to create enough detail to bring the clarity to everyone within the team. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much what storyboards are. You could pretty much use a tool to create all this and then transfer this into a Visio file, or you could export this as a PDF document and share it around within your teams. So yeah, that's it's just different companies, they might have different rules as to how they would want you to create storyboards and share it within the teams. So let me just stop sharing. Okay, so hopefully that was a useful session. Now I could try and create a bit more detailed tutorials, but if you think longer videos are something that you would like to see, let me know in comments. But if you want me to keep videos short, I'm happy to do that as well. So hopefully this has provided some value to you guys. Let me know if you have any more questions. I'm always happy to answer these questions. So I'll try and come up with the next video, which is hopefully a bit more useful for you guys. Thanks for watching and supporting me. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys. Bye.